And we are live. Hello, YouTube World 2. We got all the worlds going.
Yes.
And one day, Lee will be done clicking buttons and he will join us. But until
Here
that
we
day
go.
comes,
So here's the difficult.
You and I.
We're is this mine? Is it working? Yes, it is. All right, cool. So we're live on Instagram. Yay! We're live on YouTube. Yay! We're kind of live on TikTok, but we're suspended. We're bad boys. We're in trouble. We're in jail. Bad boys. Bad boys.
tell them what you
gonna
said.
do?
Tell them what you said that got us kicked off.
I don't know what I said.
Tell them what you
I
said,
don't-
Lee.
I don't know what
Tell
I
them
said.
what you
I
said.
do not know what I said.
Oh my
I do
gosh.
see the framing on that one's different than the framing on that one. So we can't see it on TikTok. We don't know what it looks like live. So, all right, cool. Talk to me.
I'm waiting for someone to hop in here so I can talk to them.
Nobody's going to hop in. Until then, we're dead space. We don't want to go dead space. Ever. Ever. So what do you got? Yeah, there goes our audience. Bye.
Dude, they
thank you.
left.
Thank you. Thank you for sticking
Dude, they
around.
left.
That
The
sucked.
guy who says don't go
That
dead went like
sucked.
this.
Yeah, that sucked. Yeah, we get so as a rule, I've scrolled enough times where I go, all right, you're boring, gone, 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 gone. So that's not capturing the whole top. So we need to aim it so that it captures the whole top. I don't know how to do that. I guess so. Yeah, that's good. That'll work. Yeah, that'll work. They spin, but they don't bend. So we're good with that. And then yeah, this one's not. This one's just a. At the moment, it's a placeholder, but this is a beta. Somebody's watching you right now, like literally. Just they're not gonna stick around because you're smiling. Promise.
There's nobody watching.
I promise. Okay. Well, no, but you don't understand. Once we
You
finish
don't
this,
understand.
when this goes live, when this goes on YouTube and it's static, you're dead space for the rest of time. And if you don't grab them with some type of something interesting, that
So give me
grabs
something
them-
interesting. Go.
Okay, cool. I don't know.
See, that's the problem.
Well, is
The
the-
problem
is the earth
is,
flat?
is that the world wants everyone else to solve their problems. He wants me to solve his problem right now, and I will.
No.
I
It's
will
his
by keeping
problem.
you guys. In, I
It's
will
his
by keeping
problem.
You guys
He's
engaged
like, hey,
with
I
me.
want you to make
But
Kristen Lee
see,
famous.
Now it's my problem. So now it's my problem. So it's my problem. Now it's my problem that Lee's not entertaining enough for you guys. It's my problem. Yes, it is. But I will solve it. And here's how I'm going to solve it. I'm going to talk to you guys about what the information that I just received this morning. Now it's old information. It's not new. It's old. But last week we talked about what's going on with our country. What's going on with our finance? Why are we in inflation? Why are so many strange, odd things happening? Well, it is my opinion that we're being infiltrated by outside sources, by other countries, and everyone's like, why would another country want to mess with us? Well, the same reason why the bully in 3rd grade wanted to pick on you. Did they think you were attractive? Maybe. Did they hate your clothes? Maybe. Were they abused at home? Maybe. So there's all these things going on with individuals. So as an individual, you have your own little ideas and your own little issues, and a lot of times you push that over onto other people. You make it their problem. When the truth is, it's your problem. It's your thing that you had to deal with, and because you couldn't, because you weren't smart enough or strong enough, or maybe you didn't have a dad to teach you or a mom to teach you,
Damn.
or whatever it may be.
Dude, you just went to father issues right there.
And someone's feeling the hits.
Your daddy
Someone's
left you too.
feeling
Your
the
daddy
hit.
left you too. He didn't want you. He's like, bye.
So if
Peace
these
out.
bullies are messing with these kids, why wouldn't another country want to mess with another country? If a bully is messing with another kid, why wouldn't Europe, or not, why wouldn't Russia have an issue with the U.S.? Why wouldn't China have an issue with the U.S.? Why wouldn't the U.S. have an issue with them? And who says that we're not doing the same thing to them? So these are my thoughts. Back to mortgages.
See,
How are interest rates?
How are interest rates? Interest rates, they're a little bit better, actually, because there's a little bit of certainty, and we believe that Jerome Powell, who is one of these guys, Jerome Powell, he's hinting at the pause. Now remember, there's 3 parts to the economic cycle. There's the increase, the pause, and the decrease.
So what's a pause?
So the pause is when we stop increasing interest rates.
So how many meetings ago did we do an increase?
It was probably 2 meetings ago.
So we've been 2 meetings
two
without an
meetings
increase.
without a pause, but he's been threatening ever since.
But isn't this the pause then?
We don't know that. We don't know that because he's
Until we're on the other
indicated,
side.
yeah, we don't know that until he has said, yeah, we believe things are good enough for us to pause, but he hasn't. He said, we may increase one more time, 25 basis points. And the next Fed meeting is December 13th. So, but here's the problem. The problem is that unemployment came in at 3.9%. 3.9%. And this is a big week actually. CPI comes in, a few things come in, housing starts come in, a few things come in. It's a big, big week. And if they come in bad, I mean, it's horrible, but we want it to come in bad. We want unemployment or CPI to be worse, because if it's worse, that means that Jerome Powell will not increase rates. So we need bad stuff right now. They're trying to break the back of the economy. I mean, literally, they're trying to get the unemployment rate into the fours. They've said as high as 4.5%, 4.6% is where they feel comfortable. And the problem is the unemployment rate has been very stubborn. They've been trying to get it down, and the way they're doing it is through the M1, the prime rate, and they moved it all the way up to 5.5%, but that isn't doing it. So they're doing QT, which is quantitative tightening, and that's not doing it. Only recently has the unemployment rate been responding, and it's gone from 3.5 to 3.7 to 3.6, 3.7, and now 3.9, which is it's horrible for Americans, for everyday working Americans that have to make their living. That's horrible that we want your unemployment high. But in order to get control of inflation, that's what they're doing.
So right now, you have all-time high credit card.
Over 1 trillion, by the way. Over 1 trillion. That's a
huge number.
That's a huge number.
Second is all savings accounts of Americans are spent to zero by the end of this year.
Okay.
So you have the all-time high credit card, all-time low savings, and then a combined household total of about 14% average usage on a household. So let's say your interest rate on your loan is 3%.
Okay.
But times are tough because you're a loan officer, and now you have to turn to savings. You're spending that to zero. But before that gets to zero, you're like, you know what? Let me...
Does that kill your feed?
I don't know.
Okay, so... Yeah,
Don't call us, guys.
Yeah, don't call us.
Okay, so you have credit card usage, all-time high.
Okay.
Let it catch up.
Yep.
Let it catch up.
All right, so for those who don't know, we just got a call off of the Instagram. We get a call off of TikTok. One of our phones is...
Blinking really bad. I don't know why. It's freaking out.
Yeah, I know. It's freaking out.
Does that mean I have to restart it?
I don't know, man. Give it a second.
We're frozen on it, too.
Are we frozen?
If you guys can see us on Instagram
on
World,
Instagram, let us know. In the meantime, on YouTube, hey, it's good to see you, YouTubers.
Okay, so
And
back to
TikTok,
what I was saying.
Good to see you too.
Okay, so should I restart that?
I don't know. Let's give it another 10 seconds.
So interest
got better.
rates. Okay, so your home interest rate is 3%. But you're spending your savings, and before you get to zero, you're like, you know what? Let me use this credit card.
Yeah.
Christmas is coming up.
Yep.
Okay. So how much does the average person spend on their child for Christmas? Let's call it $1,000. That's a high freaking number.
Yep.
But parents are stupid today. So they have 4 kids. So they put $4,000 on the credit card, right?
$1,000 per kid?
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you got your favorite kid and your not favorite kid.
Okay, so $1,000 for the favorite and $100 for the other. So $1,400 on this credit card. Okay, so now this credit card is at what percent? Well, credit cards, they operate different, so they're usually at a higher interest rate anyway, so call it 4%. And then you put more credit on your card, so now it's at 19%. Okay? So your interest rate on your home is 3, your car is 6, your credit card's close to 20, and if you put all that numbers together, the household average is 14%.
Okay.
Is it a bad time to do cash out refinance based on those numbers?
Well, if you're a cash out refi, if you're doing a HELOC between 9 and 12%, your 9 and 12% beats the 17 or 21 or 28. If you do compound interest, man, it's scary how much you pay in interest payments over the long haul. So it's strategic, but the biggest thing is don't live beyond your means, which is hard for a lot of people. It's very difficult, especially if you're poor. If you're poor, it's really easy to get overextended. And if you're poor, you live in America. Do something about it. Stand up and build something. You don't have to be poor. Poor's where you're at. The destination, broke is better. Broke, because poor's a mindset, right?
Yeah,
Poor's a mindset. Broke's a condition. So if you're broke, if you're just living paycheck to paycheck, do something about it. Pick a different career. Find a side hustle. We teach side hustles. There's so many different things you can do in America to make money. You just have to apply yourself and actually do it, because if you do, you get out of the broke situation, and life is so much better when you're like, hey, I might have to give up one of my houses instead of, hey, I don't know if I can eat this week. Those are two entirely different problems, and that's the truth of where we're at. We do teach side hustles and stuff like that. Back to HELOC. Is it a better? You like that? I circle way around.
Yeah.
Back to HELOC. Is it a good situation? I'd say it's a situation that you have to factor. Is it ideal? No. Ideally, you don't borrow money. Ideally, you live off of what you have. You're earning over what you're spending. That's an ideal situation. But right now in America, we're not in an ideal situation, and things are tough.
There's a lot of people that still are in a good spot, though. I mean, a lot of people that don't have interference with their jobs because maybe they're like a government employee and they're a cop that gets a bunch of overtime and their life really isn't affected negatively. So that person is still doing the things, right? And then what percentage of our economy is government employees? A big one.
I'm not sure how much, but I do know that the government employees aren't largely affected by the recession
At
or
all.
by the things that are going down. Because what really is happening is this is hitting the free market. The governments aren't hitting the free market. Who's there?
Nay.
Oh, that's Dohan. What's up? Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Do you have any questions about loans or whether Epstein did it or Ultra
MK Ultra.
MK Ultra? If you know what that is, that's kind of crazy. We've got, just so you know, we're streaming live right now on YouTube. She did say that she doesn't have a way to find us, so we do have to solve that. Maybe we can put our @s up here or something like that. We're gonna figure out what to do. But we're right now live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram. We're going to be archived on YouTube, archived on Spotify and Rumble. So
Is
all
it a
these
good
things
time
are
to
happening.
refi or not?
Is it a good time
So
to refi?
we're actually
Yeah.
touching on that right now because what I had just mentioned is that your credit cards could be in the 20%, your mortgage could be at 3%, your car is somewhere in between. So if you average all those out, the household average interest rate right now is about 14%.
14.
So that
14%.
to answer your question, is it a good time to refinance or not? Whether you're just refinancing or taking money out, is it a good idea?
Well, it's situational because if you have a good interest rate and you're living within your means, don't give up that good interest rate. If you're at 3% or 4% or 5%, you're actually house locked. And this is a big deal. It's starting to make the headlines of mainstream media because people at 3%, 4%, 5%, they're not going nowhere. They're going to stay in there because right now rates are 7 and 8, sometimes as high as 9 if you have bad credit and you don't have a good situation. But because of that, people are locked into their house and they're not going anywhere. Now, should you refi? You run the numbers and you find out, is it a good idea over the long haul? Now, here's the one thing you should know. If you get a loan right now, and let's just say you're lucky enough to get it at 7.5%, that's kind of stretching it, but 7.5% on the good side. That's stretching on the good side. But let's say you get 7.5%. Well, the bank knows as soon as we get into the 5%, as soon as we get to 5.99, you know what you're going to do with that 7.5% loan? You're going to refi it. It's going. So the bank knows they have a limited time in order to make their money. Because remember, banks make their money off of lending money. And if it's really clear that you're going to get rid of it, they don't wait to make the money over the long haul like they did in the 3%, 4%. They kind of know you're going to stick with that rate because if rates go up, you want that rate, and that the bank can sell that note over and over and over again. It's a big industry actually where banks sell notes. But if you get a refi at 7.5, which today is a win, by the way. If you got a 7.5 rate, it's a huge win right now.
You got a good rate.
But as soon as the rates go down to 5.99, that's it, 5.99. That 7.5 interest rate is gone, and the bank's made all the money they're going to make off of it because prepayment penalties largely became illegal in Dodd-Frank. So because of that, they have to make their money up front, which means they don't give you incentives. In other words, it costs you points, there's fees, there's no real discounts on this because they know the life of the loan isn't very long. You're going to get rid of it the minute you can. It's just basic economics.
There's actually a money saving situation, especially like right now.
Yeah.
Right now, I just thought about this. Okay, so listen to this. So you're going into Christmas time. What does that mean? You're going to be spending more money.
Yeah.
That sucks. You are spending down your savings. That sucks. You are using credit cards. That sucks too. But if you do a refinance right now, let's just say right now, okay? Let's say you started your refinance with us today. Okay? And we can actually aim this thing to close in December.
Is yours flat? Sorry, December. Keep going. Yeah.
So guess what you don't have to do in December?
Make a payment.
guess when you get to make your first mortgage payment?
January.
If you started
January. No. February.
February.
Yeah, you know why? Because if you started
February.
today's what, the 13th,
and then we
Today's the
docked
13th.
and funded in December.
So we don't pay
We
December.
skip
we
December.
skip January,
Let's skip December.
and then you
Skip
and then-
January.
and then in February
Is your first mortgage
is
payment.
your first mortgage payment.
So for
Okay.
Christmas time, we've effectively saved you 2 mortgage payments.
And you've learned how to be an American by kicking the can down the road.
Well, you didn't kick it. You can keep making your
You can
mortgage
just kick
payment
the
in
shit
between,
out of that, man. Dude,
but
you
the
can-
bank isn't going to ask
in
for it.
February, you're screwed.
Well, it's your first mortgage payment.
Well, yeah, it's your first
That
mortgage
depends
payment.
how hard you go on Christmas.
Dude, if you go hard in the paint on Christmas, I really wanted to use.
Well,
that
who
saying.
doesn't?
Who doesn't go hard in the paint on
Who
Christmas?
doesn't? I mean,
Dude.
there's been times when I had some financial problems. I took it easy on Christmas. So
You're screwed in February.
if you're missing 2 mortgage payments, you're not screwed anymore.
Oh,
Or saving 2 mortgage payments.
There you go, saving.
Saving 2 mortgage
Dude, is it
payments.
you go on that
And
philosophy? you're
what's
like,
the average
hey,
mortgage payment
do you
right
know
now?
how much money I saved you by buying this unit on sale?
Do you know
Do you
that
know how
people-
much I saved you?
There are people who refinance as a strategy.
Okay.
They do this as a strategy.
All right.
It's like, hey, summer's coming up. I want to go on vacay. Refi.
Okay.
And then I don't know if they take money out or not, but they just do it to skip to 2 months.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Skip 2 months.
That's something. All right. Yeah. Yeah. You know, refis cost you, right? They're expensive.
Not out of pocket.
Yeah. Well, not out of pocket, but that's like saying that the credit card interest doesn't cost you.
And they're
Out of
using
pocket,
those
yeah.
too. Have you not been paying attention? To
Yeah.
what
Have
I'm
you
saying?
seen what happened to our
Credit cards
Dude,
is at
right
an
now there's
all-time high.
$1 trillion in
All-time high.
$1 trillion in debt. $1 trillion in credit card debt. So many people are screwed by credit cards. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. So back to mortgages.
This does have to do with mortgages.
Yes, it
Because
does.
this is no, I'm saying it does. It's
Okay.
not back to. It's the same conversation.
All right. How's it? Show me. Bring
Because-
it back full circle.
Because okay, let's say you got a $30,000 credit card because you just had to keep using it because you have to feed your family, put gas in your car,
And you need a latte.
And you bought a latte, and you
Yes,
probably
okay,
put
good.
Christmas on it too. Let's
Okay,
be honest.
latte.
Now this $30,000 debt comes with a
30,000.
monthly payment that's becoming very unmanageable.
How much is the $30,000 monthly payment? Tell me.
Let's just say $800 a month.
Ooh. Okay.
Okay,
All right. Cool.
Which is
800?
which
Yeah.
is a car payment
Yeah. Just
or
a car
a
payment.
week's worth of groceries.
Yeah. What's $800?
A lot of money.
No big deal.
A lot of money.
Yeah,
well,
just
not to
fucking
you,
just-
not to you,
You're
but
crazy,
to
dude.
all of us.
I live in the
$800
same
is
economy
a lot
that
of
you
money.
do.
This guy.
This
Do
guy,
you light
yeah.
fires with money?
Dude,
Is that what you do?
what are you talking
cash
about?
money?
Oh wow, look at that.
Scrooge
What
McDuck
do you-
over here?
Oh, Scrooge McDuck.
What do you do when you get home? Do you swim in your money?
dude?
This guy. $800.
how
Oh,
it
I got
works.
that in my.
Yeah.
I got that right here. No. So that $800 credit card payment, you swap that out for a cash out refi or HELOC. Okay. Now that $30,000 payment is more like $400 a month.
400.
So you cut it in half.
Close it.
Cut it in half.
What?
Literally cut your debt in half. Now, is it the
What?
best thing to do? No, because
Of course not.
You said the ideal is to just pay it and have cash.
Just have cash.
But not everyone has cash.
Not everybody has cash.
So sometimes you need
Shit.
to cash out refinance. Sometimes you need to do a HELOC. Sometimes you need to sell drugs.
736787, right?
Oh, dude, what are you doing? Care to share your opinion on Elon Musk? Sure. Let's talk about Elon Musk.
Oh, here we go.
Why not?
Oh, here we go.
So there's different
Here
perspectives
we go.
and different Elon Musks.
Here we
That's
go.
the truth. Because you can talk about the Elon Musk that makes comments on Twitter, which are a little funny. Then you can talk about the Elon Musk who tries to be funny in real life, not so funny. Then you can talk about the Elon Musk that started a bunch of businesses that are really wildly successful, even today, like PayPal, Tesla, Space, X,
There you go.
X.
He doesn't like to say X. He's
And
like,
then there's
I don't
X.
like to talk with
There's
X.
SpaceX, and then there's X.
Yeah,
What's up with all these X's?
dude, I don't know.
This guy's messed up.
Oh yeah, I didn't put that together. It was SpaceX, and then now his new platform is X.
And
Why
isn't
would
his
you
kid's name
What's the
X?
big deal in renaming things? I'm like, do you still call things Facebook or do you call it Meta? I
call
say
it Facebook.
Facebook. I can't.
Meta's stupid.
It's stupid. It's like, hey, I'm gonna go to the metaverse. Yeah.
And the
I'm
fact
like,
that he's
yeah.
X on Twitter, like,
X.
hey man, I X'd today. Like,
yeah.
what
Do
does that
you
mean?
not keep up with
What does that mean?
modern drug
I
use?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You dropped freaking X.
Drop some X, dude. Hey, X. What are you doing today?
That's
X.
stupid.
All day. X.
Tweet.
Yeah.
I don't like the name Twitter either.
Yeah,
I think
I don't
Twitter
know.
was stupid. I thought tweeting was stupid, but it's become a brand now. So imagine Google changing their
Yeah.
name to X.
Yeah,
Did you X today? Let's exit.
yeah.
Like leave?
But these guys are the smartest guys in the room.
No,
they're
they're
the ones
wrong.
who
when it comes to that.
yeah, they got the platform. I mean, literally, Zuckerberg created Facebook, like created it, like it wasn't there before.
Well,
now it is.
Elon even said I tweeted.
Okay.
He said I tweeted. Most recent.
He
like
didn't say I
days ago.
exited.
Exactly.
Can you say, hey, you know what? I exited on my Xer.
So what's your opinion
X-
of
the Xer.
Elon Musk?
I don't, dude. I think Elon Musk is crazy.
Well, you see how many kids
But
he
I
has?
think-
Yeah, he's
no,
nuts.
how many does he have?
Like 10?
He has 10 kids.
A lot.
That's crazy. But I think he's crazy, but he's crazy like a fox. He's a genius. There's those guys who just are wacko, like what's that? A genius mind? No, a beautiful mind. A beautiful mind. That guy could see shit that just doesn't exist. And then
there's a people out here on the curb asking for money that do the same thing. And you're looking at me like I'm crazy.
you are crazy, dude. You see shit that doesn't exist.
No. The people standing
No,
on the
you
corner.
have delusions of adequacy all the time.
Adequacy?
Yeah, look it up. You'll understand after you look it up. You have delusions of adequacy all the time.
Does that mean that you have delusion of height?
A delusion of height, yes. You don't understand.
Is that the same thing?
In my brain, I'm 6'2", and in your brain, you're adequate.
And on Facebook.
Do the math on that.
And on Facebook.
On Facebook, 6'2".
And on Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook, I can even.
Dude,
do it. Say,
I got
Facebook.
fans.
Chris. Oh, dude, you got fans. Somebody else is there, right? Somebody else.
Dude, there's two people
We have
watching
two
at
people
the
watching.
same time. Intense. We're breaking the internet
Yeah,
again.
we just doubled our
Watch out,
viewership.
internet.
You have no idea how important that is. We
Increase the
doubled our
bandwidth. Hurry.
viewership. Yeah. So just so you know, we're live on YouTube right now. We're live on Instagram. We are in jail on TikTok. In jail.
We're on YouTube.
Straight cuffs. What?
Say YouTube?
I said YouTube. Yeah. But we're not only live on YouTube. We're actually, this will archive and stream later, and then we're gonna take the archive and then stream it on Rumble and Spotify. I'll
Truth
get all of them sooner or
Social.
later. Are we gonna put on Truth? Yeah, we have an account on Truth Social. Yeah.
I won't put it everywhere.
So we gotta figure out how to take this hodgepodge of stuff, because it's real clear that the TikTok version of our platform may not be around very much longer.
Nope.
They could take us off, and we could be Joe Rogan. We
Yep.
could just be like, boom.
We're going to have to wait for Spotify to write us a $200 million check then.
What do you say to those of us that don't use TikTok? That's a very, 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 very good point.
How's real life? That's what I say.
Yeah, how's real
Because
life?
you're actually
Yeah,
living.
You actually have a life and purpose and job, and actually I do like the TikTok platform, but we are streaming live on Instagram because of those who don't use TikTok. And we realized we got a large following on TikTok. We got over 50,000 followers. We get 100 a day most days. Brand new ones. But it's not the only social in the universe. So we have gone extra lengths for you people that don't just use TikTok, that we're on Instagram. And now we're on YouTube. And we'll be on Spotify and
True Social.
True Social or Rumble. Rumble's the big one. Rumble. Because you know what happened?
What's up, Daniel Felix?
Daniel Felix in the house. We got 3 viewers now. You don't understand how important we are.
Boom.
We have 3 viewers.
If all of you talked to us at
3
the same
viewers,
time, we
yeah.
would be screwed.
We don't even know what to do. Why aren't those followers here?
Back to our regular scheduled programming.
Actually, we don't know the answer to that. We have now worked really hard to build our Instagram audience, and we're trying to change that right now. We will be reaching out to all those people. We are able to go live again on Wednesday on TikTok. Yeah. And when we do, thank you, TikTok, because you taught us. You taught us to expand beyond that platform. We're going live on TikTok, and it's crazy.
For the viewers that just joined us, tell them what happened to us on TikTok.
We're in jail. Yeah, we got, those bad boys that get thrown on the cop
Clink,
car.
clink.
Yeah, they get thrown on the cop car like boom, and then they're hey man, I didn't do nothing.
And now he has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
That's what happens in jail.
Okay, so anyway, on TikTok, we got thrown in the car. And like, hey, what do we do? What do we do? Cuff. They threw us in jail. We're in jail on TikTok right now, and we cannot go live. Now, strange, they let us post. I actually gave up to TikTok for doing that. Kind of. I mean, I do respect the platform because it's a good platform. And we have 50,000 people that watch us there. So it's pretty amazing. But I guess.
Lee said something.
I don't know what I said. They said, I dug into it and it said financial scams. And I'm sitting there going, what do you mean financial scams? We're loan officers. Our NMLS license is right there. See it? Mine's 944254. Yours is?
1066958.
Dude, you don't know by heart?
What if they were thinking you were promoting your schmonly schmans?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I got an Only Dads account.
Only dads?
Only Dads. Yeah, so, yeah, that's a big
So it's a bunch of
new platform.
you and a bunch of dads? I'm not going there. Whatever happens there can stay there. It's like Vegas.
So we are in TikTok jail because they say we violated some type of financial scam, and they won't tell me what it is, which is, I don't know.
Telling people the interest rates?
Yeah, we're like, hey.
If you think we're scamming, that's the government, not us.
Yeah, that's not us. We're licensed loan officers. We do this. And so we got thrown on the hood. We get out of jail on Wednesday. So in the meantime, we gathered with our tech guy, and we said, hey, listen, this is straight bullshit. We need a different way to build a bigger audience on different platforms. So our super show tech guy came in, created a whole new camera set. We've literally got 2 phones, cameras, camera, and we are live on YouTube right now. We're live on Instagram. When we're out of jail, we'll be live on TikTok. So we'll be live on those 3 platforms immediately, and then it's archived. So when we finish doing this, we're able to record it, upload it to YouTube. Then we also have the raw data, which will be uploaded to Spotify and Rumble. Why Rumble? Because it seems like all the big guys are going there. Like Joe Rogan. Actually, Joe Rogan went to Spotify, but Russell Brand went to Rumble. Ben Shapiro went to Rumble. Who went to Rumble that you know about? Anyway, keep going.
Anyway, keep going.
Keep going.
Okay, so why are you in TikTok jail? The question was asked again.
Yep.
Oh, they said, well, when we read the context that was inside of TikTok, it was some kind of financial. It didn't say scam. It didn't say we were doing financial scams. It said something had to do with finance, something had to do with scams, and we could appeal it, and we did. And they said no still. So what that leads me to believe is there was a hater out there. There was a hater that told someone we were doing something. TikTok believed them, and now we're in trouble. But we're making lemonade out of this because now we have all these followers, like 3 of them, that we didn't have before. And I'm very happy about this.
Do you take live calls? Not just yet. What we do is we take the chat. And usually when we're on the TikTok with that big of a following, we have hundreds of questions, hundreds come in our little live. And we literally have thousands of followers watch us. So it's kind of cool. But usually with just taking the questions, we're going so fast, we're trying to catch up with the questions. We're just trying to catch up with them. And it's mortgage related. The reason it's slow now is because we're in TikTok jail. Remember, got thrown on the hood of the car. Bad boys, what you gonna do? And then click, and handcuffs. We're wearing the golden bracelets right now. See, like that, golden bracelets. And then we just kind of got kicked out. And I have to come to terms with that might be the way things are, because if they don't like us talking about financing, well, that's what we do. We're loan officers. We talk about
Don't tell them the rates are high.
Don't tell them the rates are high. Don't tell them. So, because of that, we are working on. Yeah, we gotta do. Oh, you can probably hit
D&D.
Yeah, do D&D. So we need a. Yeah, if you.
How do I do it?
I don't know. Don't do it right now.
Should I do it?
But because you're blowing our live here, and that's what's happening. So we are coming to terms with this is probably our new normal, and we might lose our audience in TikTok. And I don't want to, but we're going to. And in that light, we've lit up YouTube and Instagram and Rumble. And are we live?
Yeah, there's a delay. It's fine.
That one looks live. Oh, that's because that is live. I was like, hey, that one's coming in right away. That's coming real time. That one's not coming in real time. So that's what's happening right now. And we talk about the real world. And we don't take phone calls, but we do take the chat. And we got a computer right in front of us. We got 2 phones right here, and then another camera here. So we're jamming.
So what do you guys want to know about mortgages?
Yeah.
What do you guys want to know about what's being predicted?
When
What's
the
going
interest
on
rate's
right
going to
now?
go down? Do you want to know that?
When our interest rate's going down? What are your questions?
Okay, so we listen to some very high people. We pay some people, very high people. I can't find your YouTube channel. That's very good. Thank you for bringing that up. How would somebody find our YouTube channel?
Kristen Lee Mortgage.
Yeah, type in Kristen Lee Mortgage. So when are the rates going to go down? Well, I know Daniel. So, hey, things are going to be bad for a while. They're not going to get good soon. They're going to drop a little bit in the next month or 2 because there's going to be some certainty. The certainty is we're certainly not going to increase the prime, which is 5.5 right now. And as soon as there's certainty, there's a natural spread between the 10-year yield and what mortgage rates are. It's usually a point and a half. Right now it's been 2.5. And it's been 2.5 because of the uncertainty. As soon as we have certainty, it'll drop to 1.5. In English, that means that we'll have rates at 7.25 to 7.75 instead of 8. So that's kind of English. And then it'll stay. But Chairman Powell is facing a very, very, very difficult situation because we're in danger of really bad runaway inflation, like really bad. And if that happens, it could collapse the country. I know it seems untenable, but it could happen.
So what does runaway inflation look like?
Runaway inflation looks like Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe said, hey, we'll just keep printing our money. Before you know it, the money you would have to take a wheelbarrow of money just to buy a loaf of bread.
So your regular person work at Amazon, work at Target, and what does that look like in their life though? Like how do they know that that's what we're headed towards? How does a person experience it?
So most people don't understand it until it happens. It's just like crazy. It's like, hey, 2 years ago, if I would have told you to buy a home is going to be impossible for most America. Oh, YouTube volume is super low. I have my computer speakers all the way up. Thank you very much. Thank you for telling me. And I'm checking it right now. Is it louder now? Please let me know. So where it's going. Yeah, that might be it. It could have been, it's going to be a little bit of a delay, but I'm glad she found it. And would you increase it? Yeah. Okay. So let me know if the volume goes up on YouTube. I appreciate you checking out our YouTube channel to see how that flows. Anyway, we listen to some very powerful people, and there's some guys you should listen to. Daniel, I know you're in the real estate business. There's Logan Machami. He's one of the guys. I think that's how you say his name. And then there's another guy named Barry Habib. Better. There you go. Now we can hear you now. So Barry Habib is another guy we listen to. So that's two people. And there's a guy like Real Tax. If you put in Real Tax, this guy's amazing. He's an Asian guy. He's just amazing all the stuff he brings out, and he's like real deal stuff. So if you listen to these three, they're going to conflict sometimes, but if you just listen to them, like I listen to them every morning. Every morning I listen to these three guys to see what they say. Then I look at what's going on in the 10-year bond. I look at, because it's my job, it's what I do for a living. So I do all that and I listen to these guys, and then I say, holy smokes, we're not going to get better until third quarter of 24. Just start. The pivot's going to start third quarter of 24. There will be interest rates that go down just a little bit. And the reason they're going down, like I said, is because the uncertainty will have disappeared, and we will now know that we're stable at what we're going to be doing. Which means interest rates are going to be 7.25, 7.5, 7.75, somewhere in that range. But that's January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. Then we believe Fed Powell will start the pivot, which is 5.5 down to 5.25. And then he'll wait till it balances. And then 5.25 to 5.5. 4.75, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to take a year or two before it cleans itself up. So the pivot is going to happen in about third quarter of 24. Then, okay, I would like to follow those people you are listening to. How do I find them? So, good question. I'm going to put that out. You're edging on distortion on YouTube.
So volume?
Yeah, bring it down just a touch. So, Kip, okay, cool. That's a lot. But let us know, Kip. I can see your text come in on my phone, so your text show up for a few seconds. I see that you're watching. Thank you very much. So anyway, third quarter of 24 is when we anticipate things are going on. That's not in stone. There could be a black swan event when something just goes crazy and the Fed has an emergency meeting and drops the rates, which ironically would be beautiful for short term, horrible for long term. Horrible, absolutely horrible. He needs to get it under control. And in order to get it under control, he does need to bring unemployment up. I mean, 3.9 sounds like it's going up, but it's not where they want it. They've actually told Congress they feel better at 4.5%
unemployment. That's a lot of people that are going to get fired. That's a lot of people. So that's kind of what's happening.
So that many people getting fired, that takes them off the federal dole, right? Talking about Fed employees?
No,
Just the people.
you
Just people, inflation,
actually, it's
managing
the
it.
opposite of Fed employees.
So regular
Your
people.
volume dropped a ton. We'll balance it out when I'm there. Your volume dropped, so just
Put
you
it back
moved
where
it
it was.
way too much. So just like halfway between what you
I don't
did.
know which one it is. I'm messing with two of them.
Oh, that's not a good idea in tech. You should do one until you understand it.
That's what I'm doing right
Yeah,
now.
okay, cool.
Good idea.
So yeah, good idea. I would like to follow those people you're listening to. How if I just type in Barry Habib's one of the bigger ones in the mortgage business. He does a lot of research, and a lot of people pay him for his advice. Now, that being said, has he been right?
How do you know?
It's kind of right.
How do you know?
Kind of not right
What's
because
the indicator?
it's not so straightforward. It's not so straightforward. Vivek wants to take the federal employees by 50%. Actually, I saw that. Vivek, I dig this guy, man. I'm digging Vivek. I don't think he'll be president. He doesn't have the presence, but his brain is just amazing. If you listen to him, Vivek Ramaswamy, and he said, "Hey, listen. Part of the problem is we have so many federal employees. It's insane. If you really, really went in and found out how many we have, it's insane." So what he said is this. He goes, "All right, cool. Day one, if I'm president, I'm going to label this streaming channel." I don't know what that means, but okay, cool. I only get one line when you text Kip. So anyway, Vivek says, "I'm going to take everybody's social security number. And if you're odd, the last digit in your social security number is odd and you work for the government, you're fired." That's it. That's as random as it can be. You're fired. And he says, now what's going to happen is everybody's going to freak out for a little while. And then about a week later, we're going to find out we didn't really need all those people because the other people will absorb and it will just come back to a natural balance. Now, if you think about Twitter, you know what Musk did when he jumped in? He immediately said, all right, about, I think it was 70%. Y'all, I don't know what the heck you do, but you're fired. You're fired. And everybody said, oh, Twitter's going to fall apart. It didn't. It didn't. And guess what? Elon Musk owns 100%. So he gets to do whatever he wants to. It's his own toy. That's what happens when you're the richest man in the world. You can buy a toy and do whatever you want. You could crash it if you feel like it. What does it say? The volume control for your desk mic is labeled as streaming. All right. So Kipper is our.
How's it sound now?
Is that how does it sound now, Kip? We just moved it up again. So we're trying to see how that works. Now remember, there's about a 15-second delay, so we don't know. Anyway, so if you a little further in Vivek's comments, he says, all right, so the government will then be able to live off 50% of what it was, which is huge. And he goes, but I think it can be reduced even more. So now I'm going to take the first number of the Social Security number, and if you're odd, fired. So now we just cut the government down 75%. So that's a very interesting. He did that interview with Patrick Bet-David. And if you guys don't know, this guy's sounds good for me on YouTube and IG. Thanks. All right, cool. So you helped us out with that. So Patrick Bet-David's a very smart man, And Vivek is there, and he's just calling people out. He called out the moderators at the last debate. You see what happened?
Tell me.
So he said to, I forget who, I forget his name. It'll come to me. But he said, you should not be moderating this. Tucker Carlson should. If Tucker Carlson was moderating this.
He called out a name like that?
Yes. He said, if Tucker Carlson were moderating this, we'd actually have a lot of viewers. Dude, talk about ballsy.
Oh, wow.
It was, and I was just blown away by it. And
Was it like a CNN person or something?
No, he was a Fox guy. He's a Fox guy.
Oh, okay.
But he said Tucker should be moderate, and he's right. The problem is that the echo chamber of the people that they just want the people that say their side.
Yes.
And this is the problem that people had with Trump. Is Trump would be all over the people like, hey, you know, Trump's a Republican. The Republicans, the natural leaders of the Republican Party, most of them can't stand Trump.
Yep.
They can't stand him because they can't control him. Vivek is in that same category. They can't stand him because they can't control him. And I just heard, and I haven't verified yet, but the same thing's happening in the Democratic side with Kennedy. Kennedy, the Democrats are turning on him because they can't control him.
Yeah, they don't want to back him.
And it's so crazy.
He
that
won't
this stuff is
follow their
happening,
agenda.
right?
And the same thing with that lady. What was her name? The Hawaiian lady that ran for president. She was governor. Anyway, same thing with her. They won't support her because she doesn't follow their agenda. Kristen Walker from NBC was the moderator. Oh, so it was NBC. Yeah, so it wasn't a Fox situation.
Yeah, there's another guy there, but I forget his name. It'll come to me. But anyway, he just called him out, man. It was very insightful. And there was some people very, very, very happy.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah,
That's
Tulsi.
who it
There
is.
we go. Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi's awesome.
Maybe Mom knows it all.
Actually, I think Tulsi jumped
She
ship.
left the Democrats.
Yeah, I think she
became
left the
independent.
Democratic Party. I think she left the Democratic
Well, see,
Party.
that's the thing. So if Trump ran independent, would he have won? If he ran as an independent?
No,
the
I don't
first
think
time.
so.
Okay,
No,
so
'cause
no.
no.
So he had to pick a side.
Yeah.
So he picked a side. I
And
don't
you know
think
he used to be a
wanted
Democrat, right?
Yeah, yeah,
He-
yeah.
he used to
so
be a
I don't
Democrat,
think
right?
he wanted to call himself a Republican.
No, I don't think so
He
either.
absolutely didn't want to call himself a Democrat.
Right.
But he had to choose a party in order to win, and he did. And because he chose the Republican side, he's labeled as a Republican with all the bad Republican bullshit, and is labeled all these things that all the bad Republican bullshit is labeled with. And now we're at where we're at. But if he didn't do that, he'd have never became president.
Yeah, well, Vivek is in the same kind of category because he's like out there. He's not afraid to call anybody out. In fact, he was. Yeah, this is.
what happens when you're popular.
So he did something. The chairman of the RNC. So the RNC is
Joe Rogan is leaning Republican too. I
Yeah.
keep telling him that, and he keeps
Yeah.
denying it.
Joe Rogan doesn't say he's a Republican.
No,
but
he
if you
denies
listen,
it.
You listen to enough of his stuff, he's a Republican.
Yes.
And I don't even,
Conservative
yeah, he's a
at least.
conservative at least. So I don't know if you'd label him a Republican. I don't think anybody really likes to wear those labels.
No.
I don't think so. But he's conservative. I would say that largely he's conservative. And the stance that he takes, which is, I think, amazing. Joe Rogan changed the world because he says, hey, let's have a debate. That's kind of the rule of everything. And let's have a debate. And if you have a debate, if your ideas suck, they'll fall apart. And if they're strong, they'll win. It's really simple. But those who do not, what's that? We're frozen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those who do not want to debate, by and large, are afraid that their ideas will fall apart. And they'd rather live in an echo chamber where their ideas do not fall apart than actually get in front of people and debate where they're gonna see the light of day.
Is it that, or is it a blatant lie that they're trying to maintain?
Well, some of this stuff is just, I can't believe it. Like the big one, defund the police. There are literally people who sat out there and said, hey, that's a good idea. Not like one or two crazy people, because there's people who walk around and think they're the Tooth Fairy, they think they're Santa Claus, they think they're the Easter Bunny. They in their brain, they think it and they really believe it. So there's a large enough people that said, we need to cut all the police out. That will fix it.
Let's vote on it.
Let's vote. They have enough voters that they voted. And they voted, and guess what? They got rid of the police. And then, shocker, the city went to shit.
What was that city in Portland called?
That's just Portland, Oregon.
I know, but didn't they call it something?
Oh, there was a little sanctuary
Yeah.
area in Portland, but
Literally blocked off. no
yeah, and they
cops
said,
allowed.
hey, we're not part of America or something like. How much down payment do I need if I buy a second or third home? Good question. Those are two different conversations entirely. So if you buy a second home, it's different than a third home. A second home is 10%. Second home is a category, and second home is better interest rates, more favorable underwriting. Third home is an investment property. So, because you can only kind of live in two homes under the mindset of the, that's not going anywhere. Under the mindset of the mortgage industry, third home is an investment property. So you're going to need 20% down for the third home. Now, the better way to do it is to live in your one home for a year and then that becomes your second home and you buy a new primary. If you buy a new primary, 3.5% down. But it has to be your primary. Don't play mortgage games. Don't try and do anything bad in the mortgage world because they kind of catch you. There's a lot of things that they do. So there's some good stuff going on. I don't know what other questions we have out there. 3% down conventional happens. $60,000 right now. Buy about a $245,000 house with no debt. That's important. With no debt.
You don't want me going?
So no, I don't. These are all things that we need to solve, man. And I would like your help solving them. So maybe on our IG, does it say how long? How long have we been on? Anybody who's watching us? Is there anything that shows how long we've been on? Ground control to Major Thomas. Ground control to Major Thomas.
So when it comes to the political climate, you have a lot of people that were really left that seem to be more center now. Who's that on the right? Are rights coming more center or rights going more right? Because left's coming right. What's the left? What's the right doing?
Left's not coming right. Left's going more radical left.
Well, I mean, like the
right,
old school guys.
45 minutes.
Like Joe Rogan.
Going 45 minutes.
Like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's an old school Democrat. Bill Maher's an old school Democrat. And they seem to be more middle left.
And they don't want to claim that Republican. They don't want to put that hat on, man.
Nope.
If you watch Bill Maher, he's like, no! But if you listen to his arguments, like, yeah, you kind of are going to reality, truth. Let's actually work some stuff out. I mean, I give Bill Maher a lot of credit because he's had a big platform. And he kind of speaks reality. He's like, some people are crazy. And
so
crazy.
the new things, the new drama things, like the LGBTQ, like all that stuff.
Yeah, don't
right?
start saying that stuff, man.
Well, I gotta identify.
Yeah, but we're
what
gonna
it
get
is.
banned on everything now.
So I mean, no. This isn't negative. This isn't or positive. It's just a fact.
right.
So that group is the new drama thing, right? That's the new thing that we're dealing with.
Okay.
So years ago, you disagree?
I don't know where you're going, but yeah,
So do you think it's old?
I don't know what you mean.
It's a question. Do you think the LGBTQ is old or new? Because my statement was this is a new thing that we're dealing with, and you said okay as if it was not something we're dealing with.
Well, even when I was growing up, there was the should gays get married, so that's not new. That's been around for a very long time.
No, I said the
That's-
LGBTQ.
Okay, that's why I said okay because yeah, if you ask me if it's new, the gay thing, should gays get married, should we recognize, should this or that?
No, you're
going
talking
on
about
since
gay.
Yeah.
That's just one of the letters of that whole alphabet.
Okay.
So if you're talking about the gay, yeah, the gay's not new, but the whole alphabet of
Okay.
these things, the idea of this is new. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, cool.
So when you,
alphabet soup. Yeah, that's a better way to say it. The alphabet soup people.
so when you look at that situation, this is something that we're dealing with today. But if you
Yeah.
look at a situation from 30 years ago, that's what they were dealing with 30 years ago. So like Bill Maher, whatever that thing was 30 years ago, call it climate change, he still holds on to it.
Okay.
So he doesn't let certain things go, and he still holds on to them as the truth. Like for instance, he is one of those that gets upset when you say, "Did we really land on the moon?" So when you say something like that, he gets real upset.
Bill Maher does?
Bill Maher does.
Well, did you see Rogan talk to him about that? They started going crazy because Rogan's going down the camp of maybe we didn't. Maybe we did. He questions it, which I think is healthy. You should always question it. You should question everything.
and not owning the idea or owning the question, just questioning.
Yeah, just question
Like,
it.
did we?
Yeah. And if you actually go down that path, oh my God, it's crazy. So, like Vivek says, climate change is a joke. And you know what? I don't know. Maybe
It's a
it is.
huge
Maybe
money
it's not.
grab.
But I will tell you this.
Huge money grab.
This is something that will scare the heck out of people. Do you know what the population of the globe is? It's roughly 8 billion. 8 billion. Do you know what the population of America is? Roughly 340 million. 340 million. So that's about 3 or 4% of the globe. Do you know who the biggest polluters in the world are? Easy. China, followed by India. Why? Because they have the biggest populations. So even if we did everything perfect in America, we're not affecting the biggest polluters, and we don't even move the needle if we did everything perfect. Perfect. So, as we get through and all Americans are going, hey, climate change is real, climate change is not real. If you really look at how much we can affect it, it's negligible. It doesn't even move the needle. In the meantime, how many people are spending hundreds of millions of dollars to push their agenda? It's a cash grab. It's a giant cash
always
grab.
is.
Because the only ones who can actually really affect it are China and India. And strange little fact here, India is surpassing China in population. Roughly 1.4 billion each. Roughly 1.4 billion. But China's population is decreasing and India's population is increasing. Now, these are the biggest polluters on the globe. And us Americans are running and going, hey, you know what? I'm going to use a paper straw instead of a plastic straw and save the planet. Get out of here. Come on. You're not actually looking at things. You're not looking at the reality. That's like you going into the ocean and going, hey, you know what? I'm going to add some water to the ocean. So I'm taking my bottle of water and squeezing it in. I add it to the water. Technically, true. Effectively, nothing. You don't count. Sorry,
Well-
probably spiked it.
When you say climate change, or like Vivek says climate change is a joke. Okay. So when you talk about climate change, the climate does change.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
always has, and it always will. But is it being affected by the people of the world? That's the question. And if it is, by how much? I'll give you an example. So,
And
when
can we do anything about it?
so I have I had a real liberal roommate one time. Just a real liberal roommate, and I'm middle of the road. I'm not
Yeah.
extreme conservative, but he was a real liberal. So he
Okay.
looked at me like I was MAGA,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
So we were watching this show, this cartoon actually. I had my daughter. She was just a little tiny girl, and we were watching Tinkerbell.
Okay.
And in this Tinkerbell story, they had this little tiny machine that would put out snow.
Okay.
It was a little tiny fairy machine, okay, that put out snow.
Ferris
Well,
wheel.
what happened is someone left it on at night,
Okay.
and this thing froze over the whole entire forest. But it was a little tiny thing like this for a fairy, right?
Okay.
My really liberal friend said, answer me a question. How could that little tiny machine affect the whole forest and freeze over the whole forest? And I said, that is the argument that we have with climate change, my friend.
Yeah.
And he shut the F up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
In that moment, he went,
Well, and
I'm going to be quiet.
well, the hard part is when somebody has an idea, they won't let go of the idea. And if you are able to step back and question yourself, question if what they put in here, is that real? Like the food pyramid. I grew up on the food pyramid. That's not real. That's a joke. That's a driven situation by the
General Mills.
By General Mills, basically. By
And the
General Mills.
farmers.
Yeah. And it's crazy. And now that we know enough about diet and how it affects the body, it's all crap. The whole thing is crap. So you have to question all the things that got put in here. And I'll tell you what, the moon landing, when I first heard, yeah, we didn't do the moon landing, I was like, yeah, sure we didn't. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Of course we did. I saw Kennedy say, we will put a man on the moon. I saw the pictures of it. I didn't see it live, but I saw pictures of it. And I saw the moon landing. And I know Neil Armstrong. And I know Apollo 11 and Apollo 13. And I've seen all of these movies. And then I started going, all right, so maybe, what if? What if? And then somebody just said some basic stupid questions. Really stupid questions. And just like, hey, if this guy was the first man to walk on the moon, who took the pictures? Watch people reel from that. They're like, well, I'm sure they set up a camera.
Maybe he had a selfie stick.
Yeah, maybe he had a selfie stick. Yeah, but he was walking down the thing. And then there's some things on there that if you really question it, like for instance, if you've ever gone to any of these space places where they go, this is the moon modular landing thingy. And you look at the bottom of it, it's made out of like tin foil. And this was the thing that theoretically re-entered the atmosphere and made it all the way back from the moon. And I look at that and I go, yeah, that's crap, man. I wouldn't fly in that at 30,000 feet, let alone go into space and then come back. And then if you really want to change something, learn the Van Allen belt. The Van Allen belt is radiation that circles the globe that we cannot get through. But somehow they were able to get through it in 1969. What? And then there's some NASA guys who they ask them, what about the Van Allen belt? How did we go to the moon? He said, well, we had technology back then that we lost the technology and we don't have the ability. We don't have the ability to get the technology back. And I'm sitting there going, you're shitting me, right? You can't be believing this stuff.
Well, here's what tripped me out.
Oh my God.
So they recorded, no, they streamed live footage of the moon landing, right?
Yep.
To planet Earth
Yeah.
from outer space.
Right.
but I can't get a clear call inside of Costco
Right.
today.
Correct.
What's up with that?
That's crazy.
Dude,
This
it's-
stuff happens.
It's nuts. Can you explain the down payment assistance? I don't know about that.
All right, cool. Down payment assistance, real simple. They assist you with your down payment. Next question.
Boom.
Boom.
So here's what you do. Okay, you have to qualify. You know, these programs aren't something that just happen. So you have to qualify, and the biggest qualifier is credit score when it comes to down payment assistance. Okay, so credit score starts at about 620, and then at 660 it unlocks all the programs. There's different programs for different reasons. There's different program for down payment, different program for down payment and closing costs, different program for just closing costs. There's grants, there's second loans, there's so many of them. So the ideal strategy, get to a 660, it'll unlock all of them. Make sure you have a 2-year work history and you'll be able to get a loan. The question is how much? That's going to be the question. Okay, guys? And then with that being said, I think it's time to wrap.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you guys for showing up. We appreciate you. We're trying to build our audience on Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, and a few others. And again, bad boys, what you gonna do? We're in jail on TikTok, and we're probably gonna go in jail again. I don't like to say that, but if we're just talking finance and we're licensed loan officers, that's important to know that. We are licensed loan officers. We're talking guidelines. We don't offer to loan money. We just give advice, and then you call us and we'll build your file, and then we'll literally qualify you for a home. But we appreciate you guys showing up. Thank you very much. I've been Chris.
I'm Chris. That's Lee.
He's been Chris. I've been Lee. We've been Chris and Lee. Have a good one.